Okay, so here's what we're doing right now is customer complaint is squeaking when applying brakes. What we have here is if you come closer and look, you can actually see the blue on the rotor. And then also too, you could see the mirror image on the rotor, which is a glaze. So when you get that on your rotor, you're most likely going to get a brake squeak. In this case, the customer came in last week with the complaint, so we're now going to replace the rotor and the pads, which we've already put pads in, just to short it down because we can do another video on how to do the pads. But the biggest thing is what we need to do to replace the rotors. So what we're going to do is we are going to get lovely wrench. 19 millimeter is the size for the two nuts that are on the back of the caliper. I like the gear wrench one and the long ones, one to brake so, and then also two easier to access to get the bolt off. So you want to reach in there. Alright, ready? There we go. So I'm reaching in with my hand, just spinning it off by hand now. First bolt. Okay, the second bolt is up here on top. Be careful, this is a heat or a shield on the back. So there we go. King Kong worked on this last time, so it's really super tight. And still super tight. Now, some people want to use a ratchet. You can get in there with the ratchet, have at it. I find it easier without having to fight everything. It's just easier to use a wrench. Okay, what I like to do is after you get the two bolts loose, I just grab it and pull it towards me. That pushes the pad in on the piston a little bit. Keep in mind these are new brake pads, so it's nice and tight. Go. What I like to do after I get to this point is I'll take the caliper and I'll rest it up on the control arm. And then it allows it to stay there nice and tight. If you have an option to do that, recommend that. If not, I recommend you use a hanger. Hang it off the upper control arm if you can, or the top shock tower, whatever you can, and then attach it to your caliper so it's hanging. What you don't want to do is have it hanging by the brake line. That can cause damage, break the brake line. Also too, this is a brake pad sensor wire. You don't want to tear that. So I like to just let it sit in there. So here's a clear picture of your rotor. As you can see, the blue I was talking about and the glazed. So this is what we are going to replace. So what we want to do is there's a little lock bolt here for the rotor. This is a 5 millimeter Allen. Fortunately for me, the rotor came off simple. A lot of times you'll find cars where it'll be completely rusted right here and it'll be really hard to come off. But in this case I got really lucky. But anytime you get that, you can use a wire brush to try to rough up the edges. Use a little lube to throw on there, and then you'll want to hit a hammer right here. And when you get it loose, it'll just pop like that. So this is our new rotor, And as you can see, there's little pins here to guide you and line up your rotor on this vehicle. So you can see pin there, and then our hole for the lock screw is in place. So there's the new rotor on there. This is a coating. So what you can do with the coating is get a can of brake clean. You can spray on it if you want to leave it off or get it off. You can cut it with a razor blade, just like that. You can do both sides. That'll get it come free. A lot of people like cutting it off. I've seen many technicians leave it on, because when you put the pad on, the pad will actually take that thin layer right off and doesn't cause any issues. So again, there is no right or wrong way of how you want to do repairs on your vehicle. The wrong way is just doing the wrong repair. But in this case, we're going to go ahead and take this off real quick, just so I can show you. But as you can see, it comes off real easy. Just comes off in little clumps. So basically get it to, you pretty much see the metal behind it now. That's pretty clear. In this case, I forgot that I wanted to show you that, so I'll take it off real quick since it's going to take a second or two. And we'll do the same thing again on the other side. Wipe it down, see what you missed, if there's any big clumps. That's pretty good right there. The brake pad will take the rest of it off, so you don't have to worry about it. The good thing for these coated rotors is over time, when it's on the car, it's going to rust. So the coating actually keeps it and tries to prevent it from rusting. So that's a good thing to have on your vehicle. So put the rotor back on. So you can see it got a nice clean. Now we'll stick the caliper back on. So take it, flip it over, make sure this is not twisted up like this when you're going back on. That'll cause problems. Keep in mind, this wheel is turning, so this will be an issue. So make sure that it does go on nice and straight. See, now there's plenty of room for it to be able to turn. So that's what you gotta keep an eye out for. And now that we got nice tight pads in here. Okay, so had a little bit of a tight fit, got it on now. So what we'll do is we'll finish by putting our bolts back in. A lot of manufacturers like to give you a little bit of blue Loctite to put on there. Your choice, you can go with that. But usually there's already a lot of Loctite on there, so that's why it's usually really tight and hard to get off. So it's your choice, you can put Loctite back on. So you put your bolts in and you start it. What I do is I move the caliper a little bit and it loosens it up so I can actually walk the bolt in as far as I can get it down to the Loctite. that's where it tightens up on me. Then we'll get a wrench. I'm fighting this dust shield a little bit, it sticks out. Make sure she's tight. And make sure she's tight at the bottom. I've been doing this for about 23 years, so I got the feel of what it should be like. If you do question it, you can always Google it, look for torque specs, so you can actually torque the bolts on the back side of the caliper. Basically, this is replacing your rotor. Like I said, I've already done the brake pad, so you could replace the pads and rotors. But since I've already did it ahead of time, we'll do another video on how to replace brakes. It's quick and simple. Really anybody can do this job. And then, like I always throw out too, for whoever wants to do this job, I like wearing gloves. The reason why I like wearing gloves is because that's pretty dirty and I don't want that all over my hands. So that's what I like, and my woman likes it that way too. So that's it. Thank you.